All right, it's that time to talk about some sporting action, sporting stories that have been making the rounds in the last couple of days or thereabouts. This is the Locker Room on Smooth 98.1. Your love music, love life, and of course, your love sports station as well. It's a feel good Friday. You know how we do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:15. We get into the locker room to talk about some sporting action. My name is Ayokunmi. Great to have you join us this morning because I'm pretty sure you are as pumped as I am to talk about the sporting stories that we have lined up for you. Us, yes, by us, I mean that I'm being joined by, of course, the one and only, you know her, you love her as well, Tega Supreme in the building. Tega, good morning to you.
Woo-hoo! Thank God it's Friday.
I second that motion. I second that motion.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great week. Um, Hope you had a good weekend. And if you're one of those people that are crying, from Ayo's side of the PL,
No
you
tears in
will
my
cry
eyes.
some more. No tears in your eyes.
Nope.
All right, so we'll talk about the new Stoke City. We'll also touch a little bit on a London derby that's happening this weekend. We'll talk about Liverpool dropping some points. But before we do all that talking, we'll talk about the new rivalry brewing in F1. Hot,
Hmm.
like hot, fresh, hot agege bread. We'll talk
Huh?
about
I wouldn't
that.
mind some of that right now.
We'll also touch a little bit on Desire. I'm sorry, I'm saying Desire Aquarius because she just gave me her jersey. But on on Chiamaka Nnadozie making the list for the CAF Player of the Year. So we'll talk about
Hmm.
all of that and more in the locker room. But before we do any talking, Ayakumi, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
I'm, I'm glad you asked. You can join us this morning on the locker room by sending your messages into us on WhatsApp. That's one way to do it. The number is 0809 444 0981. You can also give us a call on the studio line if and when we decide to open that up. So have the number down just in case 0201 4489981. We're also streaming on YouTube. You can find us streaming live. You can see me in my Friday best at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. That is on YouTube. So we're looking forward to you dropping your comments there as well. All right, Tega, let's dive into the nitty gritty of some sporting action. Oh, yes, indeed. You mentioned Chiamaka earlier on. That's what we're going to start with. Now, Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie has been shortlisted for the prestigious 2024 CAF Women's Player of the Year award. Nigerians doing bits this year.
Yes, amazing, fantastic. I don't know that she'll win it. You know how it is. It's tough for a goalkeeper to win this thing because who are counting goals? They're not
Mm.
counting penalties saved. They're not counting shots at goal saved. It's ridiculous sometimes. I really want a goalkeeper to win the player of the year. Let me hear what. I don't want to hear XG. I don't want to hear do you understand? 20 goals to us. We don't care anymore because defense wins you championship. So want to hear a goalkeeper win it. Because I remember when Cannavaro won. I remember when Cannavaro won player of the year.
Yeah, that was
Um,
2006.
yeah,
Yeah.
people, it was good for football. It was good for defenders. We need to hear that more often. I know some of you were crying when Rodri won, but it was perfect for me. And then when Modric also won. So we want players like that because you could count their goals on one hand and still have fingers left standing. But their impact is undeniable. So that's what we need. But the fact that she made the final court or the final list is very impressive, and she has had a
Indeed.
fantastic year with her club PSG in France and with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. So, fingers crossed. Let's see how far she gets.
Fingers crossed. Let's see how far she's going to go. It'll be good to see. Just imagine this Tega. On the men's side we have Ademola. On the women's side we have Chiamaka. Ooh, days,
Bang
days,
bang
days.
bam! Nigeria
Mm,
don't carry everything.
mm.
They will be for some more.
They won't. They
Jollof
won't
war
hear.
is over.
They won't hear word on EXO. They will not hear
I'm
word
telling you, we
at
will
all.
take the Afro beat from them. Every beat is our own.
I'm telling you. All right, let's keep things going. Talking about beats. Let's talk Formula One here. And George Russell has been talking, and he says that Max Verstappen cannot deal with adversity as the Mercedes driver responded to the world champion's comments that he had lost all respect for him. This basketball is getting hotter.
I'm telling you. So let me even give you gist why this thing is even more dramatic, and why the people should be worried. And hopefully, if George Russell has a fast car next year, this will be very interesting because Lando Norris is not giving me the drama I want, but George Russell, he has bought the storyline I'm looking for. All right. So remember last week after they went to the stewards and George Russell gave his side of the story, and Verstappen was like, George Russell gave the story in such a way that he made sure I lost my position. That I've lost all respect for him, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I've been in that room multiple times with other drivers, and I've never seen a driver push so hard for me to get a punishment. I'm like, yeah, maybe next time you shouldn't push so hard to go into the stewards room. Why are you always there in the first place with this your rough driving? Anyway, George Russell now eventually comes to give us part B of the story. George Russell says when they came out of the stewards room, that Max Verstappen told him that he's going to make sure he crashes him into a wall. And he's going to
What?
make sure he hits, yes, and he's going to make sure he hits him so hard that his car will land on his head. When I was telling people that those crashes with Lewis Hamilton, there was some intent. People were saying no, that's what he told him. Now you may say is he said, she said. Okay, this is two men. So you may say is he said, he said. But ultimately, if Max Verstappen crashes into George Russell and George Russell's car lands on the head, we might have to look into this.
Most definitely.
Because this is looking premeditated. He said it to him that he will make sure he crashes into him. I'm like, I know there's juvenile anger, and Max Verstappen has some of that. But this is George Russell you're talking about. I like George Russell. He's going to deal with him. But yes, there is a fight brewing in F1. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it this season because this weekend is the last Grand Prix for 2024. We all know Max Verstappen has already won the Drivers' Championship. We are looking out for who is going to win the Constructors' Championship. Is it McLaren? Is it Red Bull? Or is it Ferrari? So we're waiting to find that out. However, what is the big news this weekend is that Lewis Hamilton is driving his last race for Mercedes. So there's all this drama about it, as if Toto Wolff always loved him, all that drama. And then Mercedes fans that followed Lewis Hamilton to Mercedes are now wondering what they are going to do with all their T-shirts.
But they can use the shirts to wash car at home or something like that. Do house chores.
But yeah, this is the final race, and so we'll wait to see how it is. Me, I'm already booking my next Ferrari T-shirt. I'm just waiting to see how this thing will look. Red will look on me. But yeah, those are the big things happening this weekend.
Interesting what's going on in Formula One. And this is a classic case of the witch cried yesterday, the child died today. Who doesn't know that the witch who cried yesterday did not kill the child today?
Exactly.
That's what's going on between.
I can't believe Verstappen threw, and he was the first person to throw a punch, only for George Russell to come and release this bombshell that he told him that he will crash into him. Ha!
Let's watch and see. All right, let us switch gears and head into the world of football. We're going into the Spanish La Liga here and talking about Real Madrid and, of course, Kylian Mbappe. With an unrecognizable Kylian Mbappe firmly under the spotlight after missing his second penalty in a week. Yes, I wonder if he's still on penalties at this point. Real Madrid will travel to Girona on Saturday to face last year's surprise package in La Liga. Well, no surprises from them this season, but Tega, your thoughts?
Still, no surprises for them this season, but still they put in a good performance and make you work for the results. So their key men that used to finish off the chances that they've created have gone. But they still put in the work. The style is still there, so they are an interesting opposition for anybody to meet. I still think that Real Madrid will come out tops on this one, despite their injury list. But the big news here is not all of Real or the entirety of Real Madrid, because Jude Bellingham has started scoring all over again. The problem here is Mbappe. And
Mm.
I've told people that, look, Kylian Mbappe is still the player we knew him to be, the guy that won the World Cup, that carried France, the French national team on his shoulders and dragged them into penalties at the 2002 World Cup. And he's still the same guy. The problem is he didn't play with great intensity. He didn't play with a competitive edge in his last season in PSG. So he's rusty. Even if he played his last season in PSG, there was no urgency, there was no intensity. He was just wasting time, or he was biding time. Let me not call it wasting time. He was
Mm.
biding his time till he moved to Real Madrid. So his competitive edge is still going to come back. It's just the question is when, because this is like pre-season
That's a
for him.
very big question.
And the problem is when. And so remember he missed a penalty in the Champions League. Then the next penalty that they got, Jude Bellingham took it quietly, no problems. However, he stepped up again midweek to take a penalty for them, and he missed um again. And so his form is waffling. Is You can see the glimmer of the previous Mbappe, but it's not yet there. So
Right.
he's not gone, but he needs time for it to come back. Unfortunately, his penalty miss was of consequence because Real Madrid lost midweek to Bilbao by 2-1, meaning that gap I thought they would close with Barcelona is still now there. But this weekend they face Girona, and Ancelotti has said it, that he's seen him in training, that he's working hard, and he's going to come back. So I'm just waiting for the boom because I know it's going to come. I just don't know when. But it's a tough time for Mbappe now. But I like the way that he's pushing, and his coach is backing him up. So let's see how it works out for him. Also this weekend in the La Liga, Real Betis Barcelona. That's a tough fixture every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So
Mm.
let's see how it works out for both teams. Unfortunately, they're playing on Saturday, but yeah, it's still a tough fixture. So let's see how it works out for both teams. Barcelona winning handsomely midweek, but Real Betis is a tough team that can take advantage of Barcelona's high line, and they are also good defensively. So let's see if Barcelona survives this one, or if they crumble again. But the La Liga is heating up, getting more interesting.
Mm. Definitely is heating up. And concerning Kylian Mbappe, you know what they say? Form is temporary, but class is permanent. He needs to show that he is still that main
I'm
man when
with
it
you.
comes to
I'm with you.
being at the top level of world football. Let's take a quick break. When we get back into the conversation, we're going to be talking about the Merseyside derby. Everton looking to do what Newcastle did, and of course, take points off Liverpool. All that and a whole lot more in the locker room on the other side on Smooth 98.1. Making progress, making
Yes,
progress.
so we are making progress. Where are you
And what?
going to? This one you woke up and sweater. Only you.
I didn't feel like I didn't feel like wearing my regular caps to this. I just like I was going out of my room, so this one was just by the door. I said, "Well, make I wear this one,
Jesus,
Jerry."
Jesus is your helper.
Oh, see, these days I'm wearing this with my jeans and Crocs. I can't be bothered.
This your fashion set is on point.
I I cannot
Jeans,
I cannot
Crocs,
be
and
bothered.
filler.
I can't be bothered though. Telling you, that's where I am right now. Let me just find something to eat. Eat if there's light at home. Play games small, then lie down and watch TV. That's what I
Your
do.
plans for the weekend are set.
Ah, I don't have. I'm not. I'm just happy that. Okay, okay. I have a wedding tomorrow. Apart from that, the weekend is quiet. Exactly how I want it to be.
That's good. That's good.
I don't
Even
like
that
to
wedding
go.
tomorrow.
At
Even that
least,
wedding tomorrow. I have event tomorrow. Showcase event tomorrow. I'm
yeah,
taking I'm taking my boys.
yeah. Because of the wedding in question, I cannot go for that one,
Mm, mm.
unfortunately.
So
But
I'm
it's all
taking my
good.
boys to Showcase event. Then no, this weekend is actually busy for me. But from next week, my phone shall be on DND.
Hey,
All of you, leave me alone.
for where? For yeah. I'm sure enter locker room. All right, we're back into the locker room on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Your love music, love life, and of course, your love sports station as well on a feel good Friday morning. Ayokunmi here. Tega is also in the locker room with me, taking a look at the sporting stories. We're having great fun and, of course, banter flowing around. It's always a great time. So please do join us on the conversation by sending your thoughts into us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. You can also get the studio line down at 0201 4489981. You can also join us on the live stream on YouTube and drop your comments there as well. We're at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, Tega, welcome back into the locker room. Let us continue talking about some footballing stories here and talk about the Merseyside derby. Now, denting Liverpool's title ambitions will be a big enough incentive for local rivals Everton on Saturday, but the fact is, it is also the last Merseyside Premier League derby at Goodison Park, and it will add extra spice to the occasion. Everton lost 4-0 to Man United, and then came back to wallop Wolves 4-0 or thereabouts. This team is such a yo-yo team this season.
Well, it's not even the yo-yo team. They know who they can beat, so I don't know what this drama is about. But it's a derby and it's a Merseyside derby. So yes, the amount of urgency, intensity, the rivalry always just makes it different. Now Liverpool have the better head-to-head, no doubt about that. But this is the last game, like they said at Goodison Park. They want to do great with it. The Liverpool players will want to absolutely desecrate that place. They're like, this is your last one. We'll wall up you one more time.
That's their
So
life's mission this weekend.
yeah, it sets up for a fantastic one, especially because Liverpool dropped points midweek against Newcastle, with that 3-0 draw. Sorry, with that thrilling 3-0 draw, because that's what it was. I kid you not, when Liverpool went up 3-2, I said, Otikbari, it's finished. They are done. Only for Newcastle to now score that goal. I was like, these guys are giving me. So it was at some point you were with Liverpool because they were coming back every time they fell behind. At another point you were with Newcastle because they just refused to die. That's what it was. So after that tough draw, because Liverpool dropped 2 points there, they definitely want to bounce back. They want to bring that gap back to 9. It's now 7 between Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea. It's 9 with Manchester City. So they'd want to bring that point back, and no better time to use one stone to kill two birds than in the Merseyside derby. So you beat your biggest rivals and you extend your points at the table again, at least for a few hours. So interesting one there. But for Everton, pretty interesting. They scored. Sean Dyche did not know that he had miracle powers, because somehow he was playing as manager it was on the sidelines as manager for Everton, and his tactics were being employed somewhere in London. So because his team also scored from set pieces. I think 3 of their 4 goals, set piece goals. So, or was it 4 of the 4 goals that were set piece goals? So, interesting one. But yes, they're going to put up a good stand against Liverpool. However, a team that couldn't withstand Manchester United, is that the team that wants to survive Liverpool? Let's see how
Anything
that
is
turns out.
possible.
Yeah,
Anything is
anything is possible. It's
possible.
not mathematics, but yeah, let's see how it turns out.
All right, let's see how it turns out. Let's head over to London, where Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca enjoyed the sound of the traveling supporters chanting his name as his side romped to a 5-1 Premier League win at Southampton on Wednesday.
Those ones were just enjoying goals. They know their team is going down. They're like, we might as well enjoy it however it is. That's what's happening at St. Mary's. The fans know they are going down. So they're just enjoying every moment in the Premier League.
Mm.
They will
That
cheer
team,
anybody on. That's
that team
what
is
it
so
is.
bad.
It is so bad. However, Chelsea are in a good place, and those 5 goals were indicative of the form that they are in, albeit um they were sorry, Southampton was down to 10 men because somebody pulled Kukureya's hair. Why is everybody always pulling his hair? What is it about his hair that is attracting people? Are people
It's
flies?
right there. It's right there. It's like a bird's nest. It's right there.
So you now start pulling the hair. Well done. You will be collecting red card. But albeit Chelsea is in a fantastic place now. And so they face a Tottenham side that lost last night um to Bournemouth by 1 goal to nil. Now, Tottenham's excuse is that, well, this same Bournemouth has beaten Arsenal and has beaten Manchester City. Do you
Um,
understand? So
how
we are
convenient.
we are we are in good stead. If they have beaten defending champions and they beat contenders, we are in good we are in a good place. But it's a London derby against a Chelsea side that is rampant. The Tottenham defense gives a little too much joy to opposition forward players. And that's where the biggest problem is. They concede too many goals. It's not that they can't score, it's that they concede too many goals. So by the time the ball comes to them, they are taking a defensive approach than going all for it. That Manchester City scoreline was an aberration. Remove it from your head. Remove it from your head. Everybody was beating Manchester City when Tottenham beat Manchester City. So it was not a question of how good Tottenham was. It was a question of how bad Manchester City is. So just remove that from your mind. So I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think Chelsea will win this one, and I also think by a handsome scoreline. But I want to see how both teams approach it.
Mm, most definitely. I mean, I remember that Chelsea Spurs game. I think that was probably one of Ange Postecoglou's first games in charge of Spurs. I can't remember the 4-1 loss where they
Yeah.
when they kept playing that high line and
Yes,
Chelsea
and
just kept
Chelsea just kept
exploiting.
catching. Yeah, that's
It
so. I,
was
I still think it's going to be the same thing. Chelsea will have a really good day.
uh,
Um, but then again, sometimes Chelsea can also wake up and have a brain touch. So
all right. Let us leave one side of London and of course head to wait. Arsenal is in North London. Let's head to North London now. Where Arsenal defensive midfielder Declan Rice said he would have done anything to win as his corner kick set up Urian Timber's second half strike, which put the hosts ahead in a 2-0 win over Manchester United in the Premier League on Wednesday.
man, I was listening to some ex-footballers talk about this in swingers of a corner kick. Out swingers is still a struggle. But at least with out swinging corner kicks, you can see at least where the ball is going to. You may not know who's going to hit it, which is what makes it tricky, but you can see where it's going to. But these in swingers, you are under pressure from the ball, from the defenders, from the
Mm.
angle. Everything is just is dreadful about in swinging corner kicks. And Arsenal has perfected the dark arts. Yes, they are owning it. They are owning that dark arts football with pride. They scored 2 penalty kicks, one from Saka's cross, one from Declan Rice's cross. There is no respite. No respite. And every corner kick was a threat. Manchester United was on survival mode from every corner kick. In fact, every set piece, because even the free kicks that were coming in were wicked. And so at this point in time, people are saying Arsenal is a new Stoke City. They are calling them all kinds of things. Because before, when you think about Arsenal, you think about them trying to walk the ball into the back of the net. But Mikel Arteta is like, I beg, throw away Jare. And he has unveiled
I
his
mean,
hidden Mourinho.
if it works, if it works, it works. If it ain't
I'm
broke,
telling you.
don't fix it.
He has unveiled this hidden Mourinho, and somehow they just scored. They couldn't score from open play, but they scored from the resulting corner kicks. And so that's what it is right now with Arsenal. It's an interesting one to see how Arsenal is evolving. Even Arsene Wenger will be in shock that what is this kind of football? But hey, that's where Mikel Arteta is taking them to. And the team is, I like the fact that they are ready to put everything on the line to win a
Mm.
match. Because I think that's what is missing. I don't think they lost to Manchester City last season because the Manchester City was vastly superior. I think Arsenal just didn't have the spine to take it over the edge. The extra desire to take it over the edge. I'm seeing that a little bit more this season. So let's see how it works out for them.
Let's see how it works out. I mean, this is me not trying to banter anything here, but I different teams have different ways of approaching games. They have different arsenals that they, should I say, dip their fingers into. If it works, hey, it works. It's up to you,
I'm
the
telling
opposing
you,
team, to figure out how to stop it
yeah,
or how to defend against it. So,
everybody, a lot of teams have corner kick coaches. Why are people crying about Arsenal?
I mean, Tony Pulis in question utilized Rory Delap to the fullest, and it worked for them
Exactly.
as well.
It
So
works for them. So
if
let
it works
everybody
for
use
you,
what they
hey,
have.
keep it going. I mean, kudos to Arsenal at the end of the day. All right, let's head over to Italy, where AC Milan are feeling confident ahead of their visit to high-flying Atalanta in the Serie A on Friday, said Coach Paulo Fonseca, as they look to close the gap to the top of the table.
Yes, AC Milan is in good form. Atalanta is in great form, and that's why they are dreadful for anybody to meet. And so, as much as Fonseca has been getting results in recent time, if you ask an average AC Milan fan how confident is he about this game against Atalanta, he can tell you very easily that he's with his rosary right now, because you need to pray to get something against Atalanta. AC Milan's defense is not the most solid, and sometimes their attack doesn't score as the goals from the amount of chances that they create. Atalanta, on the other hand, will continue pounding at your door until it eventually falls, and that's what makes Atalanta a little tricky. So this has set up for a firework fixture. Even if you are doing something on the 9th, you should be watching AC Milan take on Atalanta. So it's going to be interesting. Napoli lost last night in the Italian Cup, but Antonio Conte has a way of losing in one competition just so he'll win another competition. He's at the top of the Italian Serie A. If people say that it's only Italian Serie A he should face, he's more than happy to face it because once he has his eye on that thing, he has that single-eyed focus, and he can get his Scudetto. So that's where he's at now. So he may have been the Italian Cup, but in the Italian Serie A, his own is, people should cancel each other out so that I can continue keeping my position at the top of the table. And that's what's
True
working
story.
for him.
And he needs to
Yep.
work very hard to keep that position on the top, because the gap is very minimal, about 4 points,
Yes,
separating
and
first
closing.
from fifth. So
And closing. Yeah.
and closing, exactly. All right, let's take messages this morning. Ibukun says, Tega, nobody can tell me anything. Mad Max learned how to drive under Ojelegba Bridge and Ushugi bus stop. And then he further says, Tega, why the stray bullets at Man United? The story is about Everton now.
I know, but Manchester United fans were crying. Set piece FC, corner kick FC. What's the other one? Oriba Miche FC. What were there's nothing that you did not call it.
They know it's just banter, really. That's what it was. All right, Emeka says Arsenal showed Man United that they're a team made of timber and Saliba. Well done, Emeka. Rather than people complain about their tricks, why not develop tactics to defend against them? Exactly what I said. Our corners no longer part of the game. What's the essence of corner kicks again? For all those complaining of Arsenal corners, can you play corner by Mafiki Zulu? Let's dance for them as it is sweet. We'll corner them again in the FA Cup. All right, we shall see. From Onaolakbo Olabumi says, must Mbappe take every penalty? Bellingham or even Rudiger would have scored. He should have been excused. His confidence is low and he can't cope with the pressure. Opportunity for him to shine with Vini's absence not taken. He should have stayed at PSG. Congratulations to the Gunners. Man United have caused us so much pain in the past. True story. And Nathan from Kirikiri Town says, I never saw Man United losing to Arsenal. Last as I thought it would have been a draw, but United fall my hand. Big work still to be done. Ruben needs more Amorim. Amorim. And he further says, Tega, in your opinion, was the equalizer by Newcastle Kelleher's fault? Valuable points
Yes.
dropped. Everton will pay for it on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes. Why are you leaving the ball to go? Are you a tennis? Catch it. I always say this thing, even when I see it in tennis, where the player leaves the ball thinking it's going outside, then he drops in. I'm like, just hit it. Just catch it. If you hold it in your hand, will you become shorter? No. Then why didn't you just catch it? Anyway,
These are the questions. AY from Winhuru says Barca must take advantage of Madrid's midweek slip up and extend the point gap on the La Liga table. The Real Betis game tomorrow is a must-win match. Big E from K2 says, I told you Man United is no match for Arsenal. Come on, we know. Call us set piece kings or corner kings. We don't care. As far as we're getting the job done, Chelsea now on top. It's only a matter of time. Man City finally won the match after a while. Pep is so happy. What a week. Tayo says, I know some Korope drivers in Lagos that will thrive well in Formula One. By the time Max watches them drive, he'll be known as Calm Max. It's been an
I'm
interesting
telling you.
relationship with Lewis Adekunle Hamilton. We're waiting for him in red. Fred says, Nepa is at it again, Abi. Tell Amorim that this is the EPL where Glasgow is served. Man United is now Arsenal's ear. We're up gunners. Hey,
It's turn
okay,
by turn. This life is turn by turn.
okay. On YouTube, LK Aderoba says Tega is apt. Arsenal has moved into the new Stoke City, but since it's Man United, they have Otto. I don't mind. Uchenna Woko says no shame in our loss to Arsenal. Why are the refs and BPI, is that correct? BPI turning a blind eye to the dark arts from Arsenal with their corner kicks style. How do you all block the keeper and push everybody? Sad. Prince Alexander says corner FC indeed, but let them stop with covering and confusing goalkeepers. Soon, VR will fish them out from those encroachments. All right, thank you for all the messages and
Oh, I'm telling you, the messages
thank
were
you so
a
much,
lot.
Tega.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
they are.
Thank you so much for all the messages. Thank you for consistently tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. We appreciate the love. But this weekend, we hope you have a fantastic weekend. However, you know what I say? Pray that your team is not fodder for banter. Have a great
Amen.
weekend.
Have a great weekend, Tega, and thank you once again for being with us throughout the entire week. And thank you all for always keeping it tuned to the locker room and, of course, Smooth 98.1. The Smooth Breakfast will continue. Great conversation coming your way at 9 on Lagos Talks.